Have you ever seen racial discrimination in your school, workplace, or in social media? Have you ever felt that gender inequality still exists in Indonesia? Do you realize there's a high socio-economic gap in the society? Ladies and gentlemen, from then until now, racial discrimination, gender inequality, and high socio-economic gaps still becomes a challenge for the government. There are still a lot of questions about how to overcome those problems. Well, today, my name is Farrel Yano Tonapa from SMAK Kesuma. I'm going to deliver my speech about good cooperation bring prosperity. First, let's talk about racial discrimination. Pancasila Wedes Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, which means united in diversity, very much in accordance with the social conditions and cultural settings of Indonesia, as an expression that shows a serious willingness to create an Indonesia that is united in diversity. Ironically, Indonesia's multicultural society has not yet been realized in the current reform era. Various racial incidents that have occurred show the tendency and potential for violence between multi-ethnic communities. Racial discrimination that prevails among this society is because of a growing stigma on the part of a particular group or as a result of a policy by the government. To overcome racial discriminations, there must be law enforcement, as well as increasing society awareness to respect human dignity. Government needs to make sure public space is free of certain ethnic dominance and facilitate access to all the components of society without discrimination based on ethnicity or race. Law enforcement also becomes one of the indispensable instruments to overcoming racial discrimination. Government must enforce the law, which all violations of law are constantly prosecuted. If governments do not succeed in enforcing the law, then Indonesia will always be under the influence of racial discrimination. However, it will be nothing if society just stays passive and ignoring racial issues. In the era of globalization, in the era of the easier access to information, racism is everywhere. Moreover, social media abuse can lead to racism. The unlimited freedom to use social media is one of the reasons for being racist. It's easy to find a racist statement there. We must understand that Indonesia was built by founding fathers neither for one race nor one religion, but for all people who live and contribute to our motherland. Therefore, you don't need to say that I'm not racist. All you need to do is being an anti-racist person. Society must know the definition of racism itself and identify racial inequalities. At the end, society awareness to respect human dignity will be increased and creating an anti-racist society. Second, general inequality. What I mean inequality here is if one gender has a better condition, position, and honor in society. Gender inequality can happen to both men and women. However, especially in Indonesia, this gender inequality is felt more by women. Currently, there are three main problems hindering the realization of gender inequality. First is the limited access of women to get the same opportunities as men in various sectors, such as economic, politics, etc. Second is a stereotype which spread in the society that a woman that pursues her career is not a good woman. We can take an example from the glorification of motherhood. Motherhood is treated as an achievement that women must experience in their life. This creates a narrative in the society that in order to have a meaningful life, women should pursue having marriage, having children, and unprioritizing their professional life. The demands for equality between men and women need to be responded proportionally by both men and women. In addition, cooperation of all sides, such as the government, private sector, and society, is needed to accelerate this realization. From the government, they can relocate the budget to increase investment in women's human resources. The government can also ensure that all Indonesian girls completely the 12 years education. In addition, increase the number of women who participate in decision making. The private sector can provide a 40% quota for women to taking a middle-high job position. For the society, they must stop doing any kind of discriminations against women and girls, and not spreading any old negative stereotype for women to not pursue their dream. For every girl and woman wherever you are, just follow your dream, pursue it, and don't be afraid of it. Last but not least is the social economic gaps between the people in Indonesia. Levels of poverty are no longer just a problem of lack of food, but certain has even reached the extreme outstage and the absence of food for people. Portraits of poverty become very contrasting because most citizens live in abundance while others deprived of life. Wealth for some people means poverty for others. Level of inequality is very extraordinary and dangerous for peoples. Problems of high gap has a strong correlation to poverty. We can easily find modern buildings besides the dirty area. We can also see how different is the educational facilities between the city and the village. The only stakeholder who have capability to overcome this problem is government. Government needs to equaling distributions of society income and creating a social protection programs. In addition, the government can also opening jobs such as labor-intensive industry. Furthermore, government have to improve justice system. With a good judicial system, it will guarantee legal equality for all layers of society. A high social economic gaps can be prevented by optimizing the human resources and natural resources of an area. An example of human resources optimization is increasing the creativity of the society. Public facilities as well needed to prevent social economic gaps. The lower the poverty rate, the lower the level of social economic gaps. At the end, I would like to highlight that government, private sector, and society play a vital role to overcome those problems. There must be a good cooperation between them since those issues have a big influence in our country. Therefore, if we can eliminate those problems, a prosperous multicultural society will be realized. So yeah, that's what I can share for you today. Thank you very much and goodbye.